Okay, let's call the meeting to order. We have roll call, please.
Yes. Robert Weaver,
Here.
Betty Brusky-Malik,
Yes.
Kristen Kraft,
Here.
Craig Gerlach, Richard Murden,
Here.
Linnea Miller,
Here.
Gordon Shallow,
Here.
Charles Spargo.
Here.
This March 15th, 2021 meeting of the Mid-State Technical College District Board of Directors and all other meetings of the board and or its committees is open to the public in compliance with state statutes. Notice this meeting has been sent to news media and designated persons in an attempt to make citizens of the Mid-State Technical College District aware of the place, time, and agenda of the meeting. At this time, we have a spot for open forum. If someone wants to address the board. If there's no one there, I will not go through the rules and all that business with it.
No one wishes
No.
to address the board, Bob.
Pardon me?
No one wishes to address the board.
Okay, thank you. We then need a motion and a second on the February 2021 meeting minutes.
So move. This is Betty for approval of the minutes.
Linnea, second.
Any questions, discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. Consent agenda items, payment of bills and payroll. I'm digging, Chuck.
Make a motion.
Contracted services, procurements of goods and services. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Chuck.
Is there a second?
Betty, this is second.
Any other discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Robert Weaver,
Yes.
Betty Brusky-Malik,
Yes.
Kristen Kraft,
Yes.
Richard Murden,
Yes.
Linnea Miller,
Yes.
Gordon Shallow,
Yes.
Charles Spargo.
Yes.
Okay, the chairperson's report. Excuse me. Welcome to the meeting. Like everybody, well, we haven't caught up with Craig yet. And most of you, if you weren't aware, Justin resigned at the last meeting. We were sorry to see him leave, quite frankly. He's been a good board member, but family responsibilities take precedent, obviously. Spring Boards Association will be held virtually April 16th. Additional information will be coming from the Board Association. If you're interested, let Angie know. So you can hook up to the meeting, and I will try to attend that meeting, Angie.
Okay.
The 2021 board appointment. We're going to have our second go around with this with the county board chair people. The appointment committee will seek members for the employer, employee, and school district administrative positions. The employee was Justin's, and we had a couple people not able to make the appointment meeting, so they get to go a second round. That's Gordy and Craig. And Angie will act as a board appointment committee liaison, and will communicate relevant dates, deadlines, and so forth to all of us. Next meeting will be held April 19th. We will meet virtually or at the Wisconsin Rapids campus. We'll be the whole at 4:30 and everybody at 4:40. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm about ready to give up on this virtual stuff. It would be nice to be able to meet in person. I don't know if that's going to be possible in the near future or not. So I just, anyway, editorial comment that doesn't do anybody any good except me. Shelley, you're up next with president's stuff.
Sure, yep, and maybe I can kind of piggyback to what you said, Bob, as far as the April board meetings from just a planning standpoint. Would you like us to plan to, if some of you feel comfortable driving to Wisconsin Rapids, that you could be in the room with myself, making sure we're mask wearing and 6 foot distancing. And for some of you that would like to be virtual, that would be okay as well. Would you like us to have that option for you, or would you just like to continue to do the virtual option? I guess I wanted to ask just regarding, I know some of you have expressed an interest of coming back to campus, but again, we could try to do both for you if you would like to do that for a couple of months until, again, vaccinations are out there. So whatever your comfort level is, everybody, we can set it up that way. So I guess any feedback that you can provide me, how you would like us to set up, April?
I think
So
I'd like
I'll
to
be
try
on
coming in.
This is Betty. I'll be on campus.
Shelley, this is Chris. I'll be on campus. Okay.
Linnea on campus.
I will likely be on campus too, but I got to check with my other boss.
I love the
On
honesty.
campus,
I love it.
depending upon what my grandkids' school schedule is.
Okay. Gordy, your thoughts?
And
Would
this
you be
is
able to-
40, about 2 months yet.
Okay, so then why don't we do this? We will have the room set up for you all to come face to face, and we'll also have the virtual option, okay? So that way, if Rick or Gordy, because of just conflicts, they can do it virtual. So we will work with our team here to be able to accommodate that, okay? Thank you. Just a couple other updates that I have. We have been busy. We've been in full swing preparing for our accreditation visit. Please note that our HLC person does have the link. So at any time you may see him come on board. We had roughly told him it would be after 5:15, but he does have the same link. So if you see someone else come on board, please know that that's just who that is. And again, keep in mind his name is Tom. I was so impressed, Bobby and Greg, with your presentation, because I think the board definitely can see the millions of dollars that you are managing with all of the managers here at the college. So just thank you. That COVID response team has been one piece of how we've been dealing with things, but that COVID funding team has just been so equally important. So just thank you. And I know that as we find out more of the criteria for the next round, we'll do our best to be able to manage that well as well. But I wanted to say thank you publicly for that. Also, we continue to work on our potential manufacturing project, and wanted to just share that we had a big endorsement from WMC over the last week and a half. So the Wisconsin Manufacturer and Commerce Group, which I'm sure you've heard of, WMC in the state of Wisconsin, we had a presentation that we were able to do virtually with Kurt Bauer, and after hearing about our manufacturing project, he has offered to write a letter to advocate for our project, which is really big, and we want to thank him for that. And we know that as he's going around the state talking about other things, he very much told us he will be including this project. So he very much supports that we're moving in the right direction. So that was just very, very good to hear. We have also been actively working on trying to establish our operational budget for next year. So I believe we've had 2 full meetings on that. We have another one this week. So we're trying to get all of that together. And as you would kind of guess, we're going to have kind of our plan A. Then depending on this new funding, we'll kind of have a plan B. And again, there'll have to be some multiple plans based on not knowing all the criteria or really the dollars that could be available. But I think, again, that just means that we'll be prepared at whatever comes our way. In addition to that, I know many of you have been part of our legislative visits through our advocacy efforts. So just thank you for giving of your time to be part of that. I've asked Bobby to do kind of a report out on those next month, but I can tell you that they've been very well received. I think many of you have enjoyed that. And I think it just really shows the great relationship that we do have with our legislators. I can tell you for Bob and Chuck, Alex Dahlman, who we know is a new legislator in your area, had a great meeting with him and is now doing a follow-up with our own Lori Inga, where he is going to be coming to our Adams campus because he wants to learn more. So really, I mean, I think that just shows how you can have one meeting and how so many other things can come from it. So just really, I'm happy for Lori, and I'm definitely happy for that region that he wants to know more about Mid-State Technical College. Also on last Sunday, or last Friday actually, I was able to be part of the regional Phi Theta Kappa which is the Honor Society students that the technical college system has. They asked me to be part of their spring conference, along with doing the official welcome, and just really enjoyed that time. I think anytime I can get in front of other technical college students and talk about Mid-State, that is definitely a bonus. From a president standpoint, we do have the state board meeting this week on Wednesday, on St. Patty's Day, along with having a president's meeting on Wednesday afternoon. So I will be doing not only the report out for the state board meeting, but then again, leading the President's Association 3-hour meeting Wednesday afternoon. So that would be my report, Bob.
I forget that, Mike. Thanks, Shelley. Chuck, you're up with finance.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, page 15 shows the modifications for the February budget changes related to grants and COVID funding. It increased both expense and revenue budgets by $136,700 roughly. The next page shows the impact of those budget modifications. Relatively minor and no impact on the fund balance because the revenue and expenses matched. The next page shows the accrued revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund equity, page 17, and shows the interim fund changes in fund equity at the month end. For year-to-date February, accrued revenues exceeded accrued expenses by $6 million, reflecting differences due to timing of inflows and outflows of revenues and expenditures. We received total revenues of $13.5 million in the month of February, the majority of which came from state aid and state grants. To date, 87.6% of the current revenue budget has been recognized or received. Expenditures for February totaled $11 million. The largest outlay was $6.2 million for debt service. And to date, 68.4% of the current expenditure budget has been encumbered or spent. The final page shows the cash and investments, the balance sheet, and shows that we've got $28 million in cash and investments for the month end total, which is a very good position. Our cash went up by a significant amount due to the revenue exceeding expenditures by a significant amount this month. That should conclude the treasurer's report. Any questions on that?
You got anything else, Chuck?
Yep. I'm sorry, I was trying to get myself off of mute.
We've got Greg going to handle some stuff for us, I think.
Okay.
So I'll be sharing my screen with you. It should be up by now. And this is on March 11th at 4:30. The Finance and Infrastructure Committee met to review our FY22 capital plan in detail. At that meeting, the committee approved moving the FY22 capital budget to the full board for review and approval. The next couple slides will provide you a summary of the complete FY22 capital plan. This slide depicts the capital allocations by year and by category. The construction and remodeling, which is the lighter blue color, averages a little over $1 to $1.5 million per year. Our technology budget, shown in the gray, you can see has a large expenditure back in 17-18 due to the connected experience. Otherwise, over the last few years has been right around $2 million. That will be included in the FY22, the very bottom line of this graphic. Depending on the needs of student services, their allocations ebbs and flows throughout the time. Next year, a lot of their information, a lot of their requests are actually going to be flowing through the COVID funding area, very similar to the academic capital budget. So the yellow was the student services area. The academic in the darker blue has been averaging around $1 million a year since 2018-19. This year's a little less than that, again, due to the COVID funding. With COVID funding included, there'll be over $1 million of allocation for the capital budgets in FY22. Our major project list is technology and software of $1,112,000. The culinary model equipment and technology of $1,395,000, almost $1.4 million. Our connected experience payment, the fifth of 5 for $900,000. The classroom remodels and ADA compliance of $433,000. For example, we're doing 3 classrooms over in Marshfields, furniture throughout some of the other classrooms. So that's the $443,000. Academic equipment, that would be for each school, their equipment for their classrooms for educational equipment is $420,000. Other facilities equipment of $368,000. And then we have some site improvements, which includes the Marshfield parking lot, as well as the marquee at the Marshfield on the northeast corner of the parking lot. And the marquee will be similar to the marquee on the corner of 32nd and Washington and Wisconsin Rapids. So those are the major projects, and they total $5 million. Again, that was a summary of all of our projects. Our timeline for financing this is looking for approval of the capital project plans this evening. Looking at the May 17th board meeting for initial resolution to authorize debt. We'll have our Moody's rating on June 11th. We have done an AA1 since 2011, and that should not change, which is a very strong rating for an institution our size. We'll be asking for a pricing and board resolution for awarding the debt on June 21st. And the settlement date for receiving those funds will be determined in early July. Any questions on the capital plan for FY22?
If not, do we need a motion, Chuck?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the proposed capital budget as presented.
Your second?
Betty, I'll second.
Any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Robert Bieber,
Yes.
Christie Mallard,
Yes.
Tim Pratt,
Yes.
Richard Murden,
Yes.
Linnea Miller,
Yes.
Gordy Shallow,
Yes.
Charles Spargo.
Yes. Bob, I have an agenda item that I missed. We've got the Mid-State Culinary Project with Matt before we move on to the future financial audit with Greg. Is Matt available? He can guide us through the bid process and the bids received and the fact that it's beyond what is going to the state for approval.
Thanks, Chuck. Yes. I'm gonna try and share my screen here with you. This is WebEx, so I'm not as familiar, but I'm gonna try. Can you all see my screen?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
You all also received a handout in your email today. So if you look at the meeting
Yeah.
invite, you'll have the bid results there.
I'll try it one more time here. If not, I'll just refer you to the handout. Doesn't seem to be responding.
And
Maybe
they have the handout available to them.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we just go that route? Now my screen is lagging, so I can't even access it. Here we go. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so well, it's blocking my view. March 11th, which was last Thursday, we had our bid opening at 1 o'clock in the cafeteria. It was a public bid opening. It was for the culinary project. The bids ranged from nearly 1.3 million, as you can see, by JMJ Construction to Eagle Construction's bid of 970,800. They were the low bidder in this instance. The bid or the state review of this project that will be happening later this week, we submitted a price that was based on estimates that we'd received that was lower than this. They require that you be within 15% or that the bids be within 15% of their approved amount. Yeah, at the direction of Dan Scanlon, he's the facilities or director of facilities development for the Wisconsin Technical College system. He said to go to the lowest bidder and to begin to like negotiate ways to get that price, their bid, to an awardable amount. In doing that, we identified some areas with Eagle that we can reduce some scope and make some changes to get their bid or the contract we signed with them to within an awardable amount. That amount, as you see in the last paragraph, is 846,000. All of this is contingent upon the state board approval, which will be happening this Wednesday, Thursday timeframe of this week. So tonight we ask that you vote to approve the awarding of the bid in the amount of $846,000 to Eagle Construction, pending and contingent upon WTCS state board approval during their March 2021 meeting. Does anybody have any questions?
How much of that's being driven? My understanding is construction costs are just going out of sight.
Yes. I had several conversations with Dan Scanlon. He's the director I referred to earlier for facilities development. He said he's encountered a couple of different districts that are having a similar type of issue. There was one that he referenced in Western, I believe, it was a smaller project. It was about a $200,000 project, but they got a $400,000 bid. So he kind of directed them to do the same thing we are, which is, try to negotiate with that low bidder and bring that price to within an awardable amount. They have a much larger gap to close than we do at 100% than we did, but it's a combination of factors, Bob, and construction costs are up. The bidding market is not good right now, come to find out, which is poor timing, but not one you can necessarily control.
Do the benefits of going with the negotiated lower scope and lower price make sense? Can we get by with it, or is it a matter of going back to the state with a revised estimate that would delay construction? But where's the trade-off there of getting what we really need as opposed to the timing benefit of moving forward now?
Right, it's a good question. In talking to Dan, the construction itself or the project itself, the reason we need to start it in March is because of the complexity and the amount of work to be able to offer culinary classes in this space in August of the coming year, or of this year, sorry. We need to start it in March. And like I said, a flurry of phone calls with Dan, just trying to figure the best path forward or a way to move forward. This was his recommendation, which is get yourself to an awardable amount so that the crux of the project, which is the kitchen part of it, can be awarded and move forward. He said after that, you can move towards different negotiations, sometimes proposal requests. If you have to, you could bid the other part out. We're going to try to avoid that if we can. But we should be able to deliver the project, the entire project, by the time that we had originally planned to do so, and for the same dollar amount.
Okay. All right, I'll move that we approve the revised scope and project cost for approval at the state board level.
There a second?
This is Betty. I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Robert Beaver,
Yes.
Betty Brusky Mallett,
Yes.
Kristen Kraft,
Yes.
Richard Burden,
Yes.
Linnea Miller,
yes,
Gordon Shallow,
Yes.
Charles Fargo.
Yes.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the proposal for the financial audits. Is Greg up with that too?
Yes,
Yep.
I am. So Midstate, along with 8 other technical colleges, had an RFP for accounting services, audit services. We had ended our audits contract with CLA or Clifton Larson at the end of this fiscal year of 2020. And we were in with the other 8 colleges for a new RFP for accounting services. 6 colleges had looked at Midstate. We interviewed 4 or provided bids to us and information to us. We had interviewed 4 of those auditing firms. And there were 6 areas of scoring for our RFP matrix. Those were qualifications of the firm, relevant experience, responsiveness to the RFP, references, fees, and technical approach. Each one of those had a weighted score to them. And when we had Jill from the foundation, myself, and Brenda Swan, our controller, average up our points, Whiffley LLP had received the highest point ranking of the 4 CPA firms. The cost for the 5 years have averaged between $141,000 and $246,000, and Whiffley is just slightly above average of those 4 bids. So I'm looking for the board to approve or to award the RFP for the auditing firm of Whiffley LLP for the next 5 years, starting with fiscal year FY 2021 audit. Any questions?
I've got a question. Did we entertain a response from CLA this year?
Yes, we did.
But they may have been the low price or lower price, but they didn't score well. And with our past experience, I'd say I would want to avoid them. I'm just curious.
That is correct.
Okay.
In both areas.
All right. I'd make a motion to approve the contract with Whiffley.
For a second?
Manea, second.
Any other questions or discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Robert Beaver,
Yes.
Betty Brusky Malik,
Yes.
Kristen Krass,
Yes.
Richard Burden,
Yes.
Linnea Miller,
Yes.
Kim Shallow,
Yes.
Charles Fargo.
Yes.
All right, one last item that I will bring up to the board is just informational, and it's for our FY22 budget presentation for the complete budget, including all funds. I will work with Chuck and Angie on setting dates in early May for that special finance and infrastructure committee meeting. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Greg.
Betty, you're up with academic and student services.
We only have an informational item, and I would turn it over to Dr. Deb Stencil regarding the cosmetology remodel update. And let me tell you, I did view this cosmetology new location, and it is fabulous. Fabulous. I can't wait. Okay, Dr. Deb.
All right, thank you, Betty, for those comments, and you'll all have a chance to see some pictures this evening. So I'm really pleased to report on the cosmetology remodel project that is nearing completion. Currently, we have about 76 students in the cosmetology program, 9 in our barber program, and 3 in our new nail technician program. So this renovation project is very timely. The salon, the reception area, and the nail technician classroom are complete, and they've been in use since about late January, early February. The classroom portion, complete with the gold standard technology, new classroom tables with the mirrors, the shampoo bowls, and the cabinets are expected to be completed next week. This learning space now provides students, faculty, and clients with an experience they would find in industry. And since we're unable to do a formal tour of this space, I will share some before and after pictures, and I'm sure you will enjoy our new space as much as we do. So with that, the first slide. All right, our reception area, for those of you who have been on the Wisconsin Rapids campus before, the picture on the lower left is the reception area or the waiting room that was on the one side of the hall. And then when you walked into the salon, you were greeted with the circular desk to check in. Currently, next slide. You can see as you're walking down the hall, on the one side, you can look right into the salon. We've added a number of windows so that you could see into the salon. And then we added kind of our wow factor, which is the salon at Midstate. So as you're coming in the main E entrance, you can't help but see the beautiful signage, and that's kind of on the outside of our reception area. Next slide. Here is our new reception area. You can see we have kind of the stainless effect with the chandelier, our new product showcase there where our clients can purchase product as well as the waiting room. Next slide. Our nail technician classroom was designed in what was the fitness center. So this is kind of a before. And then the next slide. This is the after. So our nail technician classroom complete with 6 pedicure thrones and 6 manicure tables. It's just beautiful. All right, and then the salon, the lower left, you will see the previous salon, dark, kind of one color, and then set up in rows. So one of the concerns the faculty had is they really couldn't see what was happening across the salon. So you can see the picture of the new salon, very bright, open, very high class, I would say, with the mirrors, with the lighted mirrors, just a big open space where the faculty can see the students and the clients from across the salon. It's just a beautiful, beautiful space. Here's another picture of the new shampoo bowls. Okay, next slide. Our aesthetics lab had a facelift as well with paint in our beds. They use this room for waxing and skincare treatments. Next slide. And we have a dedicated barbershop within the salon. We have 6 chairs where our barber students can serve their clients. All right, so I really want to thank all of you for your support of our programs and our facility updates. This facility project has made a huge difference for our students and for our faculty, and most importantly for our clients, and we're just so proud of our space. So thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Deb.
Fabulous looking.
It is. It is.
Okay, who's handling the human resource and external relations?
That'd be Dr. Bart.
Karen, if nobody else is, you must be.
I think I have the loan informational item and I can handle that.
Okay.
So I'd like to just give a recap of our college in-service day that was recently held. We held it virtually as we did the August in-service on February 25th. And the theme of the day was preparing for the HLC focused visit, which is kind of a theme we have tonight as well. And Tom Bordenkircher, who will be visiting with you tonight, was our guest at in-service. As always, we start with an update from Shelley. That's always very well received. And then we started into our program, and we started with the 5 HLC criterion. And we decided a fun way to present that material would be to play games around them. So we broke up into 5 groups, and they rotated through 5 different games virtually. We had one group do Wheel of Fortune, one did Jeopardy, one did Bingo, and there were 5 total. And I thank all my ELT buddies for being our game show hosts and hostesses. They did a great job putting together the games, and they were really well received as a fun way to learn about the topics. When we broke for lunch, Tom met with the ELT during lunch virtually, and others, did their thing for lunch. And after lunch, Tom addressed the entire college with his information. And then we have what we call team time. And Tom broke away with the academic team, and the rest of us went into our own teams and discussed how our teams directly impact and contribute to the HLC report and requirements. I will say we also had a session with Beth Ellie right after Shelley's session and before the games, just talking about high level HLC stuff. So it was really centered around that day. We ended the day as we usually do with the wrap up and prize drawings. And so then we send our feedback survey. Every in-service, we provide an opportunity for feedback in both rating the in-service and then giving us ideas for future in-services. So as of today, we have a 63% response rate on the survey. And those 63% indicate a 96% overall satisfaction with in-service. So we always consider anything over 90 to be good. So 96% overall satisfaction is great. We also learn a lot from the feedback and the ideas that are presented in the feedback survey. One employee wrote, "I really enjoyed how interactive the games were during in-service. It gave us opportunities to participate the whole time instead of just watching." And an idea we got was kind of like what you got tonight. Virtual tours of the new areas, remodeling projects, changes on campus, etc. So we can see as well as hear about the new things. For example, the Sim Center and the salon. So that is the recap of our February in-service. Any questions?
If not, we'll move on to our committee of the whole. That excuse me, we had this prior to the regular board meeting. Bobby, Damro, and Greg went through some of the funding that we've had, and actually it's been quite a bit of funding either from the state or from the federal government. And there's requirements on what we spend it on. None of it's on brick and mortar, I'm told. It's on providing student accessibility and or information and other for instruction. And the higher education money, most of that was from the state, as I recall. And then the CARES money was $1,996,000. That had to be spent by, or has to be spent by the June 30th of this year. Some of the spending recap has been 38% of student emergency grants, 19% were wages for additional class sections, 17% IT equipment and distance learning, 13% for student materials, and then about 13% for cleaning and PPE stuff. The CRISA Act, there's a $3,490,000, and that has to be spent by January 16th of 2021, which we have passed. And again, there were quite a few restrictions on that, and the committee, Bobby said who all was on the committee, but it's a fairly extensive committee of college folks that paid attention and planned ahead. And I think it serves us well to get that money allocated and used for the reason it's supposed to be used. And now with the recovery money, they're planning the same thing, planning ahead, trying to do the same thing to meet all the requirements. And there's not a figure per se that we can say that that's going to be, but it's a significant amount of money that's coming from the federal government now. So I'm sure it'll be well spent by the college, well used for kids, our students. I say kids. You know, when you get to be my age, they're all kids anyway. So more power to them. Seriously, more power to them. And I know there's a couple programs going on that they've started for various reasons, like at the AF high school. And some of our kids, our seniors, are now involved in it big time in recruiting people to help. So all this stuff is helping, I think. I really do think it's helping. Now, unless there's some questions that I leave to Bobby and Greg. Oh. discussion and action, the simulation center, Deb. And I see that's open. I think we have all received from Angie, so we can see a virtual tour. If you didn't have a chance to look at that, when you get a chance, look at it because it is impressive. Okay, Deb.
All right, thank you. I'm excited tonight to have Dr. Colleen Kane with me. She's our Dean of the School of Health and the School of Protective and Human Services. And we're going to provide you an update on the Mid-State Healthcare Simulation Center. This state-of-the-art facility is exactly what Colleen had hoped for years ago when we had the opportunity to work with leadership from Aspirus Riverview Hospital and the Legacy Foundation. After years of both construction and the collaboration meetings, and the involvement of many here at the college from ELT, academics, facilities, IT, and even experiencing a construction delay caused by COVID-19, we're now able to show you the simulation center. So we want to thank you for your support, and I'll let Colleen give you some of the details. Colleen? Colleen, are you unmuted?
Hello, my sincerest apologies. I too am having some technical difficulties, so I do apologize. Deb, can you share with me, were we planning on showing the video tonight, or was everyone going to preview the video?
We are going to try when you're finished providing the details.
Okay, very good. I had my emails up and it logged me out unexpectedly, so I do apologize. So bear with me if you would, just a moment. There seems to be a shared theme with technology today.
So Colleen, while you're getting that up, we have had the simulation center open as of the start of the spring semester, so January 25th of 2021. And the simulation center, I think, as we've shared with you in the past, really provides those simulated educational experiences to supplement students' clinical training in our healthcare programs, including nursing, medical assistant, phlebotomy, respiratory therapy, surgical technology, central service, and EMT paramedic.
Yes, and as Deb had shared, the good news is so far, since January 25th in our opening, all program students have been able to at least experience one day at the Simulation Center. The Simulation Center is open as of January 25th, and it provides the simulation experiences, as we've discussed, to supplement clinical training and the following healthcare programs, just as Deb had mentioned recently. The Simulation Center is equipped with 9 medium fidelity and high fidelity mannequins that replicate nearly all clinical scenarios such as stroke, sepsis, infection, bleeding, shock, birthing, and more. The mannequins enable students to practice their skills in a consequence-free environment before progressing to clinical training with live patients. That means it's an area that they can make mistakes, as we've discussed in the past, and they can learn from those mistakes and hardwire what needs to be done correctly. Additionally, simulation sessions can be recorded for review and debriefing purposes, an education opportunity rarely available with traditional clinical training. The simulation also has an anatomy room with an anatomage table, which allows faculty to supplement instruction, emphasizing the science behind the experience. A demonstration you'll be seeing in the video. We hired a simulation technician. The Simulation Center is staffed by 2 full-time simulation specialists, and we now have a simulation lab technician. This was part of the Legacy grant funding. This is a role that is desperately needed to help support all of the programs, in addition to continuing education. We have 1 nursing simulation specialist and 1 EMS simulation specialist. Both of these individuals also focus on their primary programs, but help support the other allied health programs. We recently hired a simulation lab technician who not only supports the simulation specialists and faculty, but also engages in setup and takedown of equipment along with scheduling of the simulation sessions. How we're going to use the simulations? Well, this will enhance our ability to attract and train more healthcare students. Limited availability of clinical training sites reduces the number of students we can accept into our healthcare programs. As I have shared previously, for example, our nursing program currently has more than 170 students interested in our nursing program. In Wisconsin, up to 50% of the clinical hours required in nursing can be obtained through high fidelity simulation. This center will enable Midstate to increase the number of nursing students in our program to better meet the workforce needs in our district. Also, the EMT paramedic program has a simulation component requirement in the curriculum based on accreditation standards. Medical assistant, respiratory therapy, phlebotomy, surgical tech, and central service tech students have all been able to experience patient care scenarios in the simulation center since the opening. We have received consistent positive feedback from the faculty and students of these programs in relation to advancing the students' educational experience based on close realism. We are looking forward to giving you a live tour when we're able to do so. Unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, visitors are still restricted at Aspirus Riverview Hospital. We are also eager to schedule a tour for all of you, along with a ribbon cutting ceremony when it is safe to do so.
Yes.
I also wanted to share, I did a brief summation today, and thus far, today is March 15th. We've been open since January 25th. We've had over 250 Midstate students come through the simulation center and experience case scenarios as a part of their program. So I'm very proud of that.
Very proud. It's been a lot of work, but it's so worth it.
It has been.
We'll show you the video that our team here at Midstate put together. And I think, you know, one of my favorite parts about the simulation center is really how we've been able to blend kind of that hospital environment, that very clinical environment, with our Midstate look and feel. So you'll see this as you watch the video.
The Midstate Technical College Healthcare Simulation Center, in a partnership with Aspirus, is a state-of-the-art interdisciplinary healthcare simulation center. It provides specialized spaces and simulation technology equipped with medium and high-fidelity mannequins and other equipment to create complex healthcare training scenarios. At the entrance of the center, you will find a reception area that includes a medication room equipped with a fully functioning medication dispenser, giving students experience with retrieving and preparing medications for simulated distribution. Lounge areas provide a dedicated space within the suite to store learning materials or catch up on studies between classes. Classrooms in the simulation center feature movable furniture and are outfitted with the latest in modern learning technology. Innovative technologies also bring students together from multiple college campuses into a single classroom experience. The Midstate Healthcare Simulation Center provides a 360-degree real-world training experience. Corridors within the inpatient and outpatient wings of the center are outfitted with crash carts for simulated yet highly realistic emergency situations. The inpatient wing of the Simulation Center provides innovative, high-fidelity simulators and 5 hospital rooms to support the training of nursing, EMT paramedic, and respiratory therapy program students. It includes hospital training rooms, exam rooms, and Midstate branded classrooms. Hospital training rooms throughout the center are outfitted with dry erase patient communication boards to align simulation goals between student care teams. High-fidelity simulators provide the physical and psychological aspects of patient simulation. These mannequins replicate nearly all clinical scenarios, including stroke, sepsis infection, bleeding, shock, birthing, and more. Each inpatient room provides 360-degree cameras so instructors and colleagues can oversee ongoing simulations. Assessors are able to observe and adjust simulations on the fly while observing student reactions to the changes of the simulation assignment scope. A simulation anatomy lab provides exposure to instruction that reinforces body systems and functions learned in courses during simulation. Equipped with an anatomage table, this lab allows students to explore the systems of the human body layer by layer through modern technology. A high-fidelity birthing simulator provides students with the experience of delivering babies in one of the most realistic simulated birthing scenarios possible. Students who practice their skills in a consequence-free environment before progressing to clinical training with live patients gain the confidence necessary to perform effectively on the job. By virtue of hands-on simulation, EMT and nursing students are now able to take advantage of this simulation experience for up to 50% of their clinical courses. The outpatient wing of the Simulation Center is designed to support medical assistant, surgical technologist, central service technician, and phlebotomy technician program students. Through the use of medium fidelity simulators and the hospital training room environment, Both the physical and psychological aspects of simulation is experienced with incredible real-world accuracy. This wing includes 4 exam rooms, a phlebotomy lab, and a surgical suite. A central sterilization area is used to serve as a processing room, training students in preparation for surgery simulation, while the fully fitted surgical suite includes all of the technology required to deliver the best-in-class simulation training available. Thanks to a collaboration between the Legacy Foundation, Aspirus Riverview Hospital, and Midstate Technical College, the Healthcare Simulation Center at Aspirus Riverview Hospital will attract and retain the future leaders of healthcare in central Wisconsin. Want to learn more about a career in the healthcare industry through Midstate? Visit our website at mstc.edu/simcenter to learn more about the health and EMS programs providing experience with hands-on training at the Simulation Center.
Thank you very much. That website will be live tomorrow. So if you want to look at that video again, you can go out to our website tomorrow and take another look. So any questions?
You don't object to if I talk to folks at the hospital about looking at that and using it?
We're also already reaching, Bobby's working with the marketing team at the hospital. Oh, you mean the hospital in Adams Friendship?
Right.
Yes, I think that would be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, we're at closed session, I think. We need a motion to go into closed session. Is that correct, Angie?
It is Bob.
Also move. This is Betty.
Second, this is Chuck.
Roll call?
Robert Beaver,
Yes.
Betty Malik,
Yes.
Kristen Kraft,
Yes.
Richard Burden,
Yes.
Linnea Miller,
Yes.
Gordon Shallow,
Yes.
Charles Fargo.
Yes.
Okay.
If we can have just a moment, please. So those not